So when we talk about how exes move through stages after their breakup, this is sort of a generalized charting out of what somebody goes through once they dump you. And it's different for different attachment styles, number one. So when we talk about the stages, it's kind of like a one size fits all model. But once you understand how attraction works in general, you kind of understand that the stages are more of a basic model just for the average person to understand what happens, but it's not as true to form as this like logical progression, as you might think about it. So it is true that your ex is going to initially be closed off to you, and then over time they're going to start to get curious, which then starts to, turn into anxiety a little bit, and then ultimately they can second guess their decision. That is true. And that initial relief stage is going to be the toughest and longest portion, that you're going to go through. But the progression of the stages past the relief stage, it all depends on your working understanding of how attraction functions. For example, if your ex is closed off to you for a really long time and you actually manage to pull off no contact and you don't break down and contact them first, they're going to start to get curious about you. But as they get curious about you, if you're making mistakes in the types of stuff that you're posting, or, if they do something simple like a post and then all of a sudden you're commenting on theirs or messaging them directly, this kind of thing, you don't allow them to really get curious. Like they get this little ounce of curiosity, but then it gets satiated right away because you're basically acting in a way that they would expect you to act, which is a nice little boy or girl that's going to chase them. Likewise, if the curiosity gets to the point where they actually decide to message you, you can't create anxiety if you're working harder than them in that conversation. And if you reveal mystery, you tell them exactly what you're thinking and feeling, you tell them exactly what you've been up to. If you're not artfully sort of hanging on to some of these details and playing the role of the person that's at the top of the power dynamic, that anxiety or that curiosity that they have will not translate into anxiety because you're not conducting yourself in a way that promotes attraction. And you can keep them in anxiety. Let's say you kind of start to have some game and you start to make the right moves when you're talking with them. If you don't know how to capitalize on it and actually make something out of the interaction, like get dates set at the right time and but you can't overreach when you're setting dates, and knowing how to warm it up for the date and all this kind of stuff, you're never going to get that anxiety to translate into, doubt, which is them like wanting you back, because you can do things that bring them closer and do things that push them away. And you need to sort of selectively have behavior that only brings them in and not pushes them away. So when we talk about these stages that your ex goes through, again, this is a very basic model that we're telling you just so that way you can have an idea of the mental progression of the person that dumps you. But they won't ever go through all these stages unless you learn the right things, what to do and what not to do. Now, if you want some help getting your ex back, click into my profile and click the link right here. Set up a call with me and tell me your story, and I'll give you a step-by-step plan to get your ex back.